All right, guys. So the last couple of weeks, you guys have heard us having this, I think, wonderful conversation between Danhai and Thaon and Matthew from the Limitless Podcast. We touch on a lot of things. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it or check out episodes on YouTube. We touch on a bunch of things, but what we never really went deep on is stocks. So this conversation that you're about to hear is just another piece of that conversation, but in that we actually went deep on stocks, right? We touch a couple of points. This is all stock. So if you didn't care about the meditation or reading about books or anything like that, and you just want to hear some stock, this episode is for you. It's a nice quick one, quick half an hour or so, and we just have stock in it. And with all that's happening in the market right now, I think it's pretty timely. We seem to have a good predictive conversation, an interesting thing. I'll just give you a hint to start off talking about dollars. So listen to it. I think some great points were raised. Matthew and Thaon raised some great points around it. Danhai and I, of course, brought a couple of good gems, I think, there. So listen to it and enjoy.
The following podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing said on the podcast should be construed as investment advice, nor should anything said be relied upon as the basis for any investment decision. Any reference to an investment's past or potential performance is not and should not be construed as a recommendation or as a guarantee of any specific outcome or profit. All opinions expressed by hosts or guests on the podcast are solely their own personal opinions and do not reflect the opinion of everymickle.com or any company affiliated with the hosts or the guests. Hosts and guests on the podcast may maintain positions in securities discussed in the podcast. Neither everymickle.com nor its affiliates or subsidiaries warrant the completeness or accuracy of the opinions expressed herein, and they should not be relied upon as such. Strategies and investments discussed may fluctuate in price or value and may not be suitable for you. They do not take into account your particular investment objectives, financial situation, or needs, and they are not intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security mentioned. Speak to a licensed investment advisor before making any investment decision.
Than $2.20.
It's at 219 today.
I think
Definitely.
So. I know that there's.
You think it's breaking 3 for the end of the year?
I think so. So I think I'm
6 more months.
I'm expecting their coming reports. They're easily gonna do over 100 mil per quarter. I know Kadid even spoke about they've been speaking about the acquisition from like last year. I think the most recent timeline they gave I think the most recent timeline they gave was like possibly end of June or so. I still think that could end up happening this year. They may get they get a pretty well. When I asked Kadeen, I think it was on an earnings call or one of his interviews or something, I was asking, what do you think is one of the next big pushes for dollar? He actually spoke about that acquisition, because if you look at it with the consolidation going on in the microfinance industry, there are a lot of players that I think are under pressure that dollar could end up acquiring at a big discount. If you acquire a big loan book at a big discount, there could be a lot of profit in that for them, and I think the market would like that. Also, if you look at a lot of the partnerships that they are setting up with a lot of their loans, and the connections that they have, like if you look at it, Mayberry signed Dequity as their financial advisor, and in the article they spoke about
Dequity signed Mayberry as a financial advisor.
Yeah, but then they said that in the article they said that it would be
slipping on Danhai. I don't think you even realize that slip where you said that.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
Which speaks a lot about how
what do you mean?
we see Mayberry. You said Mayberry signed Dequity.
I'm not finished. And then in the article it says that Mayberry is going to be giving advice to Dequity's associates and subsidiaries. So they are also going to be partnering with their advisors. And if you look at it, Mayberry is in I think they're like maybe the second or the third largest shareholder in dollar. And if you look at it, dollar, for example, they've basically what I'm trying to say is that in terms of what I'm seeing with dollar, they are always basically finding new loan packages, new partnerships to get them that business. And then they have the kind of ties that they have, like who they know, like the financing. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with them getting the financing. And I'm also seeing them constantly thinking of new ways to lend money, Ultra, their partnership with just tons and tons of companies. Almost every month or every few weeks or so, I'm seeing another notice.
A big deal for them is that the two largest shareholders are also heavy in heavy buyers of companies, and those companies will need banking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they have a problem getting the loans out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I like that. I like that for the. Sorry, you were saying that.
What do you think about dollars float? A lot of people have dollar.
There's that. Yeah, let's talk real. You see, you mentioned two things. One, the company's future likely continuity and success, which I agree with. I mean, they are truly in growth mode in terms of the businesses. Last year's their best year ever, 275 million, 280 million if you're talking about straight net profit, right? And that's their best year ever. In 3 months of this financial year, they've almost halved that. Just 1 quarter. Bear in mind that the year before 2021 was their best year ever. And that year was 128 million for the whole year. And these guys are now doing 123 million in 3 months. I'm not disagreeing with you on that at all. Also, this is their lowest. If you think it's, maybe some element of seasonality, Q1 is their lowest quarter. Last year was their lowest quarter. So it's the first quarter that equals their previous to last year best year ever. Anyway, but that's not share price, as we know.
Yeah.
Strong balance sheet don't mean strong share count. How do you see trading activity? 2.5 million shares sold by a director. Yes. That's a lot of shares. And that was on the 23rd.
I don't think it adds up.
21st.
Yeah, I never seen that at all.
That's funny. The JC notice said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Maybe it's a mistake. The days running to each other. Maybe it's a mistake.
Maybe.
But on the 23rd.
T+2.
It could be. No. Hey, it could be. That's a real thing. It could be. But on the 21st, we saw a lot of units traded. The thing that struck me about this, that raised my eyebrow, you see, it jumps out on the chart very quickly. It's one of the biggest days ever.
And then the volume is not good. The volume is still heavy after that.
Yeah, the thing that struck me is how it was done. If you look, I love this about my money, Jay, that you can replay how the day went, right?
Yeah.
Look at the buy queue at the start of that day. And then look how those trades happened. And look at how those trades happened. These trades didn't happen where it's not the typical big order, right? The big one-to-one, somebody selling to one, something that looks to me like you met in the boardroom or at the bar, you made the agreement, and this is the day that we do the trade and the swap happened. This to me looks like straight selling to the queue. Like straight selling to the actual queue. So orders just getting bought up nicely. Big and nothing wrong. I love that because people are getting their units, right? But that means that a lot of people are getting their units.
I'm wondering why you see the current queue now? I'm looking at it why is the queue defense coming now instead of then? I see 500 grand. Is that queue defense or is it people are like, yo, I can grab a whole heap of dollar shares? That's also possibilities.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I'm considering.
Yeah, I really like it. I was looking at it now. That side eye off. There's some when it's coming out.
Whenever we drop it.
I'm looking at it as a point of risk for me. And that kind of sell down, the kind of thoughts that go behind that with people. If it's the days after that, you check the candle, how red they are, just dipping down every single day since that big order.
There could have been another director selling who just haven't got the notice yet.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yo, that's fair. That's fair inducing. Look at how people have reacted to the.
I don't like seeing that. I saw it and I was, and I was saying, for a little while now, I was saying it felt like they just left it out. Like in terms of there was a good amount of orders in the queue at any given time. It seemed like there was defense there, and I just don't seem to be the case for a good while now.
So, like for me, not knocking it again, I like it. But if we're talking practical investing, we're like you're looking at we're looking for practical profit. Like in 5 years, you have this thing and the numbers that they're doing now. Imagine what the dividend will look like in 5 years. Imagine how the profits will look in 5 years. Yeah. But if I'm talking about, so that's again, Danhai?
We've seen the growth in the quarters. Like the dividend next year are going to be good. I just,
and I love that they're paying a dividend so early as a company to the market. But I also have to consider my thing. I look for cap gains heavily. And if this many people get this many units,
and them come sell, especially if they see it falling and you know how that is, that fear that's setting. I know what I see that it does.
Yeah, which is it's not a bad thing. It just says to me that there's a lot more people that will need to be excited about the thing in the future.
Yeah.
For it to rise, for the price to rise, right?
And it's a longer sell queue over and over and over.
And then what are the things that would cause them to be that excited? Because yes, the continued good profit is amazing. The growing dividend is amazing. But I don't know how much that influences the typical retail investor.
Yeah.
So like I look at it and I wonder, if they acquire the right thing, if they buy access, if that actually ever happens, that'd be amazing. But on just the strength of the company, the strength of the balance sheet, I mean, JMB has a strong balance sheet. Like, the strong balance sheet don't set the share price.
Right.
Yeah.
No, fair points. Fair points. And then people, I guess, a lot of the directors could have got their shares at $1.
Yeah.
So
or cheaper.
True.
So for them, $2 is still 100% profit. What will be interesting to see is if Mayberry or if MJE starts to give some support, because they were actually buying after listing too.
That's
to check back there.
No, they
if
were.
You pull up probably their. I don't remember if it's I don't think it was the most recent report. Maybe it was the report before. As in, no, the Mayberry, the MJE reports where they tell you how many shares their stuff they were buying.
Oh yeah, the buy and sell. They'll show you there, but I think a quick, easy way I can look is I look at what they had
since
here.
listing.
Yeah. Since listing, the easy way. My money J will have a little. We're solving that problem, making it easier. Also, that's a great market tip to make things easier for you. But until then, they had 21.6 mil in at the end of March, and just be safe, I'll go full year and third quarter. At the end of the full year,
no, I think it was the same amount. You passed it up. Yeah, it's about the same there.
The same 21.6, but at the end of the third quarter, was it also the same amount?
There was a point where I saw them buying though. I don't know.
23, they actually sold.
So I guess they bought and then sold. Interesting.
Yeah, it's such a sticky game when it's that popular a stock. It requires a massive event that matters to, and is clear to the vast majority of the investing public for them to rush and buy.
Very
right?
obvious.
Yeah. So that's a consideration of mine. So I think I've sold my dollar, and I'm sure I'll buy it back at some point because it's such a strong company.
Yeah. Strong company.
But
you just timing.
Yeah, it's always timing because I'm not looking to it for me personally. I'm not looking to it for heavy cap gains.
I was more optimistically earlier in the year. I think more of my thoughts, like just seeing where it's gone and then kind of pulling back on it.
Yeah. How do you guys handle that the pressure of that? Because I'm so used to.
Sit through it, there you go.
No. How do you guys handle the pressure of talking about something like that? Where you're like,
talk about.
About what?
As in something that we don't think is very good, or
the bad possibilities of a stock you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I still try to, I guess, welcome it because it shows that, like, as much as things can look good at a point, things can change, and I'd rather learn from earlier. Because like for example, I sold a good amount, a decent amount of my shares at like 270 or 260. So it dropping now. I mean, I still own shares now. If I look back, that's even an opportunity for me to average down, and I put the money in something else. I think some of that money went into Cygnus. So if I then make money from that Cygnus play, I can compound that to then average down on that. Or maybe I take that money, put it into something else before I then put it into dollar, and suppose dollar drops to $2. Yeah, I'm still down, but with the gains that I've now made, I can then average down. So it's just part of the game. Part of the game.
That what you said about things can change. You would be surprised how much that thought is not common. If I have it now, I must stick with it. Like, I mustn't change it. Which is the same thought of don't lose money. If you lose here, then okay, change it and go somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's not a common thing at all for people to think that that's a possibility. Because really, if you got up and you say, "Boy, it makes it to them," I say no, and you say sell. For me to sell to somebody, you know how that go for the most part. What? No, I must sit with it until it go good again. Yeah. Market must only go one way ever. That's how people.
That's how people tend to view it. Yeah, and or you also spoke about it well. So why don't you love it now?
Yeah.
Well, I like that thing. I like how you also.
Like when you love Cygnus, people question, "Oh, we used to love it then," and then times change, things change. We bought it for the reasons we bought it for, and we were there for profit.
We used to bash Cygnus on our podcast. We bashed Cygnus heavily, and look at me owning shares after.
Hypocrite.
Wagonist.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the word.
Riding the wagon to profit. Real wagonist.
Real wagonist. Wow. Looking up
stock I'm excited about. Maybe two. Give me the first one. I like that it's the Trans Jamaica time. I think that a lot of people are gonna be. I can't say are gonna be excited about Trans Jamaica. I mean, look at Trans Jamaica, 246. I'm so proud of it. It's finally
moving,
catching the light. And Trans Jamaica is a great example of what I just spoke about with Dollar. Where I mean, you know how Trans Jamaica is. Like it's the other Wigton that was bigger. Everybody have this stock. So what it really takes for this thing to move, how it has moved. Money. Significant, sustained, and possibly interest, well-pocketed interest in addition to the retail interest. And this one has been a very interesting one for me. It's something I'm looking at, and I think I'm tying a lot of the interest in it around not just the new highway opening, the new leg, and the JOI purchase that they did to reduce their expenses, fix up the cash flow a bit, but also their to me, I see a lot of dots around like the word, like why change the wording of the buyback? It's such a very specific change that they did in the wording of the articles at the AGM, right, for the buyback, meaning like why change it? The articles are amended. So they removed the ageist requirement, which is, the director's maximum age before they have to retire.
Okay. Yeah.
And this one, they're putting in a new resolution to say where shares can be repurchased, so a buyback from the company. It can be done by open market or by tender. And I believe the original
Article 65.
The original 65 spoke to. I don't want to guess, but I don't want to go digging that the wrong way. The original 60 thing spoke to a buyback already, so all they've edited it to is explanatory circular. All they've edited it to is to include the open market.
Oh,
section. Like literally.
Also, just like STO before.
Wait, say that again.
Or was it?
It was,
yeah, I'm just wondering.
I don't want to guess. I want you to see it. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting it the wrong way because I know it in my head, but I want, especially since we're doing this, I want to be as accurate as I can be. There we go. We currently allow the company to repurchase its shares by way of a tender. It just doesn't allow the open market buyback.
Oh, a tender invitation.
So they are.
I never even thought of doing
they are
both.
literally
Like a
editing
company.
it. Huh?
I never thought of a
again,
company doing both, like both a self-tender offer and a OMR, like a mixture of both.
They could.
Or they just say we want to do that one, so let's allow ourselves to be able to do that one.
Yeah.
Exactly. The article, it simply doesn't allow them to do the open market one.
Mm-hmm.
So the change is to allow the open market one, which is the preferred one because it doesn't.
And why the hell would you?
I know how much I want to give away here like this, but I mean
I think it's
the self-tender is a guaranteed event that you have less control over. Like you have control over when you do it. But once you're saying you're doing it, you've said you're doing it.
Exactly.
And the money has to be spent, and it's a tender, and it's the shareholders.
Open market, you can literally just look on the queue and be like, I think I want to buy it up to. Yeah. You don't have
to do whenever you want.
Exactly. You're not restricted by time,
and you don't actually
by
have to buy.
Yeah.
Like you can say up to. You don't actually have to buy that amount.
Exactly. You can say up to, and like in the case of Cygnus, you give yourself the 3 years that your articles require you to do.
Yeah.
They could have just done one, but instead they go to OMR and they go 3 years in order to allow them to do whenever they want, whenever it's most expedient for the company. Now the fact that Jamaica is changing that resolution, and that's all that they're changing, adding in the open market thing, is for me a dot to say that it makes it not extremely, but much likelier that they're gonna do a buyback, and they're gonna do a buyback in the way that they'd love to do it. But I also think about how the market is likely to react to the news of a buyback, which
That's
is
true.
an obvious dot to me from way out, right? From before, which is why I bought it. I didn't buy it, or maybe I did buy it at IPO and then sold it very quickly after. But it's not something that I've touched before. But when I saw what seems to me to be, I don't know why my gut tells me like NCB is really taking their proper hold on it. They have 2 NCB, if not, they have at least 2 NCB board members on board, and the new leg opening and the open market buyback addition. Change to the resolutions, all of those coming together to me is almost like a perfect storm. And then I also think that I think maybe the obvious heavy stakes are being taken by the what you call the smart money, the heavy money.
Heavy money indeed.
Yeah, so
look
the
on
heavy
the
money
trading.
is going.
Look on the trading before that rise.
It's when the big
the volumes that were coming, and then since those large orders,
Yeah.
that looks like a base set, and then I can raise my average as I go along. Because I have a strong base now.
Well, that's a nice way to think of it. I was thinking that I just think that the big people are moving, and the big people are employees tell them friend who tell them friend who tell them friend. Yeah. That's how I see it. So like people know, and people know that it's coming or something's coming, and also you can see the highway. So people traverse the highway every day. You can see the highway, and you get that effect, the visual effect of being able to see the fence strap effect, I call it. So Trans Jamaica, weirdly enough, is one of those I'm excited about, and I do own some, and I'll probably buy more. I can talk, of course, and also, of course, the KFC stock. I mentioned it earlier, but the KFC stock, the Starbucks stock.
The KFC stock.
Yeah, man, the Starbucks stock. The when they're fighting in KFC and then break the chairs.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Yeah, I wish they were fighting Starbucks though. I wish they were breaking the chairs in Starbucks though, yeah. Like, please break a chair, like mash up something, I was joking with the girl grads. I was saying, I hope somebody goes in Toyota Jamaica and just mash up the front desk. I just run out. I nobody gets hurt but the front desk, and then they have to go down to JFP and order a new one.
A new one. Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys had Metri on, and I mean, how did I haven't watched that episode yet, so I haven't heard it. But how did he feel about the expansion?
Well, I think we feel the same way as Metri. We're pretty excited about the what our company is doing, and it's good for it's a brilliant deal in my opinion. JFP Total Office, because they're literally just getting, they're the manufacturers and they're getting like a distribution segment. It's almost like they're getting a distribution arm, and they have those channels throughout the Caribbean.
You get a vertical.
Exactly, because even when I was listening to the AGM, Steve Sergani, he was basically saying that they're at, I think it was what, 30% of what they could possibly do, like the total capacity that they could run at. I think it was around 30%. And if that's the limiting factor and they're getting a distribution company, right, which means, in my opinion, a lot more business is gonna come out. Hey, yo, that sounds good for JFP. And if they said they work, Preston, do you remember what days they work? Is it a 4-day week? I can't remember.
I do remember that. I do remember. Maybe I had a clip of that or something, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I think it's like just 4 days out of the week.
Yeah, it's
and and it's just how much they can actually take on. Like they're doing this and they can take on this much. So if all they need is business, I'm bullish on Total Office supplying that business. So I think it's a really good deal. I didn't see all the synergies immediately. Maybe after doing more research, I realized, this could be huge. So yeah,
I see a lot of synergies there. I see also on a lot of jobs that they do. It was very telling to me that the relationship was said, I believe, that to have started from like both being suppliers to a big job.
Yeah.
Which then says to me, when I look at Total Office, one of Total Office's biggest suppliers, the massive furniture company in the world.
Yeah.
And I look around the region and I see where in those level of infrastructure projects are being done. I mean, hospital expansion in Jamaica, double hospital expansion in Jamaica. The company that they're working with has an entire hospital division, right? When I look at the Barbados airport expansion, when I look at the expansion of Sangsters, and I suspect maybe a coming expansion of Norman Manley. When I look at there's restaurant chains moving out throughout the region, right? I like the dots. I got some dots on your podcast, right? Because then I think about the downside. Because it's not always good.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of dilutive events unless I can see a safe path through and after them. And it was said that they being JFP plan to pay for Total Office because they have bought it already, but I'm assuming there's some amount of debt there, and they'd have to pay for it via issuing some shares, a mixture of debt and equity, right? Which means you have to issue shares in our company, which might be dilutive for me. But then I think, okay, they do it to get 30% of everything Total Office does, so it's an associate company of yours, and that might be great, and that continues assuming that they're profitable. But I think as you hear me say, like, look on Dollar, great company, great trajectory. But if I'm thinking just share price, which is the arena in which we play, I have to consider what the dilution may mean in terms of
where those heavy volumes are going.
Where are they going? Can they go there and then some of them hit the market? I don't want to see my queue getting hit with orders, selling it down.
So you Total Office and sell. I don't want that.
I wouldn't want that. I'd be fearful of it. And then on the flip side, what are you getting for that? Because if you're getting the right thing for it, it can work out, right? When Seprod did a dilutive event and got facey for it, it eventually worked out well for Seprod shareholders.
Exactly.
Yes, they were diluted, but the share price went up eventually, right? In this, if I can see a clear path, I love it. And I think based on timing too, I think anything like this is probably going to come up before JFB has to talk to us. They have a month and a week to talk to us, August 14th, which makes me wonder if there's that Total Office IPO is going to happen in July, which is where I picked the time into. And then I noticed Friday, last day of the month and a half year, a massive amount of units.
Yeah.
But I think 100 million, 102 million, and out of that 102 million, there's 100 million coming straight from two people. 2 people, which I suspect are the directors, two directors selling possibly, or connected parties to the directors.
Because who owns that much, right?
Exactly. Connecting those dots. And so I wondered if, why maybe they're cashing up. I didn't know if it's Total Office who bought it, or maybe they're cashing up. And the time seemed a little interesting to me also, it being this close to the blackout date. So maybe they're cashing out in order to have money so that you can participate in another order that happens before the second thing comes out. And then I think, how can JFP pay for Total Office depending on what the price Total Office is? It's not like they have that much money.
Yeah, they don't have much cash on hand at all.
Those companies work a lot more. Yeah.
And they get and if the company's worth a crap load more, we're hearing like 7 mil. If they have even, I think we're doing some math at even 10% margins. Not that they have that 7 mil US 10% margins, but not that they have that. But you know, they're getting something that I think might be extremely valuable. And if they're being diluted for it, how are they doing it? I'm thinking debt swap, conversion in IPO, and then that's something exciting for JFP, our company, because I do own some JFP shares too. So, but I worry. Like, these are the things I fret about, because if you get it wrong, if it's a wrong thing, getting out is hell, right?
Exactly.
You're not seeing much volumes there.
Yeah, well, there's a 13 million order here at 180. I don't know if it will last, but and if Thaon or Matthew, that's your plan. 13 million at 180. It's not a bad. How much money is that to buy these two, to sell to these
almost
two?
26 mil, almost 24 mil or so.
23, no man, 23 mil.
23.
Yeah, at 180 after fees and stuff. Sorry, we'll take the fees out. So assuming 1% fees, 23 mil. Might be a good exit. It might be a good exit. Who knows? But that's the
It'd be funny though if somebody start preempt that, because I don't want to say this. I think that or is an all or none.
Yeah, there are lots of all or none
Imagine somebody
orders.
drop all or none 13 mil and like next month there and say, yo, watch that style. I just start buying. And they'll drop everything on it.
Man, them shocked and them seat filled.
I imagine getting that alert. Like,
You know?
your pretend order has been filled for real.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And that minimum again, like the last day of the month, them invite you up on a yacht. No phone service, nothing. As far.
That's a real thing that happened. You know, there's a story of.
Oh gosh.
I know if what
That's
you
the reason
want.
it happens. But there's a story of what was it? Was it Buffett and I want to say it was Buffett and the Microsoft. I think it's Microsoft or something. But there was a story of Buffett saying they're on the yacht and the guy they're on some Riviera and the captain is pointing out things and they're like, just go wherever the satellite signal is strongest. Because like, they're trying to close this deal.
Yeah.
They're trying to close this deal today. Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
Oh gosh.
One thing I noticed about JP though, I always think of the opportunity with it. I think 5 million units puts you in the top 10, which means 5 million units is still a significant amount of ownership in the company, and you can still get 5 million units to buy without tripping the breaker even Monday. Yeah, the breaker doesn't trip until 209, order number 34. So yeah, that to me is still interesting, still wonderful opportunity. I see it every now and then. I still grab a piece every now and then. I don't listen to the right or the wrong information. I participated after. And who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Let's see what Total Office looks like.
Facts.
Yeah, those are my two that I was thinking about. Danhai have none of
So Thaon stole JP from you. No, youth. But you guys both stole JP from me then. So looking. I mean, man, boring. I'm personally excited about SVL. Because there's a lot that's coming out of it. And you can see like now is the timeline for like the big ramp up for the thing there. We call it the infrastructure move that they've been making. I think not only Ghana, just like the payment platform, the bill payment platform that they're setting up. We can see them fully buying out the new loan company and the plans around that. The plans that they have for this timeline now for the loan companies that are ramping up business through the network. And then SVL gets a lot of support. I've been saying it more than once. This is one of the closest things to a safe stock on the market. You're not really expecting a certain level, I think that, but you can time a lot of rises out of it and get a good deal of money in and out of this thing. Trans-Jamaica, Wigton, like similar level of volume can happen through there. Probably heavier on those sides, but at a certain level of money can go into SVL, get good profits, and you're not really have a worry of losing to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, because you can't like
there's no stock. That's a safe stock to a degree. There's no real safe stock. There's no this not gonna fall, work stuff. But there are strong timelines throughout the year that SVL has. They pay dividends quarterly. They're one of the strongest dividend payers on the market. You can see the level of buying that goes into that thing there. So if you time it a certain way, it cuts your risk really heavily, and then the upside is really good with all the big plans that they have.
Truly.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of trading recently. The past couple of days. Millions of units. Another quarter.
Another quarter.
Another quarter rise. Look at that rise.
Maybe, but that, like I hear people talk shout out to the psych striker herself, but I don't I don't know if I would bank me personally, if I'd bank a heavy play on like the end of the quarter move in this quarter. I think it would happen based on other factors. That's deep. That's Grog group talk. I would say probably about a bunch of other factors told me that this would happen this quarter, but I don't know if I'd bank on it every quarter.
Oh, no,
yeah, because
I don't guess what I want to say more, but yes, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't think of it as a guarantee. We're not
things could change. Things could change. Yeah, or they could just not care, or lots of things.
Yo,
it's a heavy amount of units.
Have to wrap up, guys.
Yeah, we do. I think
get in that page.
You get to it too.
It's a good time.
Yeah, get in that page.
Yeah, I understand. Well, thank you guys for having us. I enjoyed being here. Thank you guys for inviting us on to have a talk. Yeah,
indeed.
Of course, yo. Anytime. We love the talk. We love the conversations. Honestly, hopefully we can do it again soon. But for now,
we'll see if we can make the time.
Love that. All right, guys.
Okay.
Limitless out.
Big up. Cool.
Earning seasonal.
Limitless bricks. I love it.
Limitless bricks.
Yeah, man. Big up.
Bless.
Pause combined.
Captain Gint.
Earning season, bro.